Hey guys, what is up? It is your friendly neighborhood Ubix here, back again with another Isaac Breaking Run. This time we're going to start with Cricket's body. And we're going to have some fun, hopefully. Cricket's body, of course, is a very cool item. Gives you nice splash damage, which does a bunch of dips. And overall is just cool, because it also gives a tier to lay down. And everybody knows that shooting fast is the coolest thing in Isaac. The faster you shoot, the cooler you are. That's just a fact. It's a fact of life, actually, not just Isaac. Okay, it's just Isaac, but you know, ignore that and just accept this as gospel, and then we can move on, right? All right. Okay. Okay. So, one thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that I've referenced it a bunch. The Dark Crystal, and I finally got around to rewatching it for the first time ever since my childhood, and I gotta say, it's like it's a hard to place movie for me, because I have such fond memories of it, right? Remembering that I really enjoyed it as a kid, and in my rewatch, I thought it was beautiful, right? Just absolutely gorgeous. From an art perspective, it might actually be the best movie I've ever seen. However, the plot is so basic and so not compelling. I don't want to spoil anything for you if you haven't seen the Dark Crystal and plan on doing it, but I will say that I probably could have come up with a more compelling plot line in, like, you know, a lunch break or something. Now, that's not to say that they did a horrendous job on the writing, I guess, because the writing was okay. I thought the writing was fine. It was just the overarching plot, the thing that was supposed to progress the movie, just felt so vacant, you know? And it makes me so sad. Because honestly, like, the movie's gorgeous, like I said. It's actually just visually stunning to me. And if you don't know, the Dark Crystal is all, like, puppet work, right? And when I say puppets, don't think of, like, you know, the Muppets or something, or Sesame Street or something like that. Think of, like, shit, man, what would you think of? I have no clue. That's the thing, it's so unique. I can't think of another movie that has a similar art style at all. But then again, I'm probably misremembering, and I'm sure that I could come up with something given enough time, but oh well. But yeah, it's all puppet work, right? So the characters are incredibly unique in the way that they look, right? And I mean, just the world design. I'm so glad I don't have a key. I guess let's check, see if this is. It can't be. Okay, well, fuck me then. Fuck it. Let's actually check the secret room location, see if there's keys in it or something. But there's these things, right? So the Skeksis is apparently the pronunciation. They pronounce it a lot in the movie, but I also remembered it as Skeksis for some reason, but they're called Skeksis. And, they are so cool looking. They're like vultures, like humanoid vultures, right? And they do speak a lot. Like, a lot. My confusion of the not speaking is just due to the fact that there are a lot of sequences where the main Skeksis is basically not speaking at all, or speaking incredibly basically. But they're really, really cool visually, and just from like a design focus, because right, so many movies fall into the trap of spoon-feeding the viewer the plot, the exposition, right? They just hand it to you. And that's a horrendous mistake everybody makes. And in The Dark Crystal, I'm not gonna lie to you, they do that a little bit. But one thing that they do incredibly well is they give you an idea of how the world operates, how certain things in the world operate, without explicitly stating it. And that's one of my biggest things about the new Mad Max that I love, is that they don't explicitly state a lot of things, but you get it, you understand. Because viewers don't need to be spoon-fed. And yeah, in The Dark Crystal, it's like, I mean, yeah, like there are very specific things that do progress the storyline and are stated in a very matter-of-fact way, for sure. But they still, like, you get an idea of, like, the culture and the structure of these like, subcultures, I guess, in the movie, without really a lot of explanation at all. And that's really good. I mean, one thing that, like, doesn't even get said until the very end, but is kind of, you know, hinted at the whole time, is very interesting. And I won't say it because it's actually probably the only major spoiler that exists in The Dark Crystal. But it's very cool because it's built upon as the movie progresses. Like there's the first moment it happens, and you're like, oh, wait a second, and then the next time it happens, you're like, oh shit, I get it now, right? And it's just, they don't have to say, like, again, I don't want to spoil it, but, you know, they don't have to explicitly say it. And if you've seen The Dark Crystal, hopefully you know what I'm referring to. I think I've been explicit enough to give you an idea of what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie before. But yeah, it's stuff like that where it's just not, it's more implied stuff, right? The more that is implied and the less that is explicitly stated is much better in general, I think. I think that's a big thing that movies tend to fuck up a lot now. I mean, like, look at, I've shit on it a bunch before, but I don't feel bad shitting on it again. Look at Avatar, for example. In Avatar, right, there is this, like, progression that you can visibly see of the main character, Jake Sully, like, realizing that the people that he, I guess, swore allegiance to, the people that were his allies for so long, are the bad guys, right? You figure that out, and you can figure out that Jake is seeing that, and then, for some reason, there's this big, like, speech part where he's like, I'll fight for you, to the Na'vi people. And it's like, alright, well, I mean, come on, man. You're not, like, you don't need to give a speech. You can just fucking fight the battle. And you could even, to do that better, in my opinion, would be ignore all the shit that's going on with the Na'vi people, right? Ignore all that. Put that in the background, right? Focus on the army people and the deforestation part, right? Focus on that side of the story. And then, as they're doing stuff, then the Na'vi start fighting back. And it's like, oh, fuck. And then you see this like, huge battle unfolding. And it's just chaos. And there's Na'vi and army people dying left and right. And it's crazy. And then, suddenly, you get a visual of a specific Na'vi. And it's Jake Sully. And then you're like, oh, shit. He's fighting for them. Oh, wow. And then you can piece it together, right? It didn't have to, like, he didn't have to go through a huge fucking, like, Braveheart-esque speech or fucking any of that shit. That was unnecessary. That was filler is what that was. that was shit that's there because it assumes the viewer is fucking stupid, or, well, and/or they just needed to fill time. But I mean, I don't think you need to fill time in a movie. I think if a movie delivers its message within the time frame of the movie, then it accomplished its goal, right? Regardless of the actual time frame of the movie. I mean, The Dark Crystal's an hour and a half, right? Like, that's fucking it's a short movie, but it says what it needs to say. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. But yeah, like there's obviously, you know, you could argue that the suggestion that I'm making for Avatar is like cliche, and I wouldn't entirely disagree. The whole like, oh, what a coincidence that this main character is visible, right? Sure, coincidence cliche is pretty bad, but I think it would be a trillion times better than the fucking Braveheart speech. Like, fuck that shit, man. It's not compelling. It's not entertaining. It's just a fucking chore. And it only exists to deliver exposition. And if something solely exists to deliver exposition, right, when it could be implied rather than stated, then it's bad, right? Like in fucking Signs, when they, on the news, it's like, there are reports that people in South America are learning how to fight back against the aliens. Well, tell us. If they know how, and you know they know, how do you not know how? Tell us, so we don't all fucking die. Right, like that line, that bit of dialogue overheard from the TV is both coincidence cliche and it's just, it only exists to further the mystery of how they fight back, right? Like it's just in there as like a teaser almost. And that's fucking dumb. I don't know how that hit me. Alright, that one was on me. This is pretty fucking brutal though. I do really just want like a damage up, please. I don't have a damage up yet, right? Pretty sure I don't at all. Nope, don't have a damage up. Just tears. Triple half red heart is very weird. I don't think I've ever seen it. But yeah, like, there's a ton of ways to deliver your story in a movie without stating it. If you're ever spending the time in a movie stating your plot, right, stating it, then you're pretty much just a bad writer, I think, honestly. I mean, narration for an intro is pretty bad, but it's, I think, excusable to some extent. I think intro narration can be done well. It's not a good thing, you know, it's a mistake, for sure, but it can be okay. It can be done in such a way that it's not the end of the world. But when, you know, two main characters have a conversation that they would never have ever in a million goddamn years, whoops, and they're only having that conversation because you think the viewer wants to know more about the plot or doesn't understand the plot in the way you've presented it currently. If that conversation only exists because of that, then that's bad writing. Okay, I have taken like 8 hits on this floor, and I really would like that to stop at some point. Although this is the first floor where having 0 damage up is really a big problem, so I'm not necessarily surprised. I'm just disappointed. But yeah, like, it's such a... I don't know. it's such a hard thing to judge because people have their own opinions on fucking everything, right? And that's not a bad thing at all. People having differing opinions is important to the human experience, but people do have, you know, they have preferences when it comes to delivery. Some people do want to be spoon-fed, and I think those people are generally idiots, but I don't know. It's hard to say. If your sole goal is make a shitload of money with your movie, you know, make it big in the box office, then yeah, you know, you wanna cater to the lowest common denominator, right? That's just true, and that's what Avatar did. So, congrats, Avatar, you did it. But wow, man, these are pretty great item rooms, huh? But at the end of the day, if your goal is to make a good movie, just a very good movie, well received, and all that shit, then you're probably not gonna want to spoon feed people. Well, maybe you want to spoon feed people, but people don't generally want to be spoon fed, from what I've noticed. Even the dumber people generally dislike being spoon fed. Come the fuck on, man. Is this a joke? It's not a funny one. 0 damage up. No piercing. Fighting Mask of Infamy. Oh my god. I just need to Mom's contact him. And go to town. That's the goal. I need to stay the fuck away from him, but I can't because my range is so low. Sucks. But yeah, anyway, I would say Dark Crystal, taking off the rose-tinted glasses, or rose-tinted goggles, is that the term? Ignoring nostalgia about the Dark Crystal, I would probably put the Dark Crystal at, like, I'm not sure. Probably around, I don't know, high 6, low 7, I'd say. Yeah, I'd say high 6, low 7, somewhere in that region. You know, fuck it. I'll get just a 7. How about that? Let's be decisive. 7 out of 10. And 7 out of 10 ain't bad. Tell you that. That's better than a lot of movies. What I find very interesting, though, is how little rating systems actually tend to, I guess, display, like, a proper, I guess, rating. I don't know. It's so weird. Because so many websites that have movie ratings, like, if you look at the lowest rated movies of all time, there's, like, a single 10 out of 100, and then next lowest is, like, 30, right? That's not realistic. I guess, fuck, dude, there's, whatever. I'll take it. Yeah, that's not realistic. You know, if you want a realistic rating system, then you're gonna have... God damn it! I shouldn't have come in this room. Why is it masks all the goddamn time now? What the fuck is going on? Huh! I started this floor with like 5 spirit hearts. It's fucking ridiculous. Fuck all this, dude. Fuck all of this. And I'm still not getting upgrades either. Like, this is the worst fucking part. Is that I'm just gonna die a horrific, slow, painful death. With my no upgrades. Yeah, like a realistic rating system, right, would have a bell curve of ratings. It wouldn't just be, you know, best movie 100, worst movie 50, right? Then why do you go to 100 if that's the case? It's to make movies look better, right? But I don't know. It's so frustrating. And I'm only going in here because I already have no spirit hearts, so what do I have to lose? Yeah, and if you don't know much about bell curves, or as they can also be known, normal distributions, you have 50% of the population being observed under the 50% line, right? Like, your 50 is 50. It's not like your 50 is, you know, if you're at 50%, you're at top 70 percentile or something. Like, you're top 50. That's a normal distribution. And when you hear about teachers grading on a curve, how did that hit me? Oh, Jesus Christ. When you hear about teachers grading on a curve, it is normally a bell curve. It's their own bell curve that doesn't have a normal distribution around the, you know, around the regular 100% system. It's shifted generally. Because most of the time in a teacher's grading curve, they will have the lowest score as, like, you know, failing, which is failing is such a funny thing to me. The rating at which we fail is still quite dramatically high, I would say. But yeah, in the American schooling system, frequently failing is anything below 60. That's failing, right? I'm just gonna pop Joker and hope that we get something good. We got Guppy, so that's pretty good. I'll pop it once, and then I'm gonna reroll all these. And then I'm gonna grab this and pop it, and you know what? That's alright. And I'm just doing that because we have the, what do you call it? Whore of Babylon. There we have a chance now. But yeah, so in the American schooling system, generally, I say generally because apparently some places are different, but for me at least, and for a lot of people that I know, it was, failing is just an F, and F is, lower than 60, right? Some places treat D as failing, apparently, which is fucking real dumb, but, I mean, it's so ridiculous that, I don't know, it's so weird, because it's not indicative of a normal distribution at all. Because I'd say, if you're in the top 50% of people, I guess, of any sort of thing, you're doing pretty damn good, right? Top 50, or top 50%, that's pretty damn good. I'd be proud of that. Now, obviously, tests and scoring systems in general aren't meant to be a normal distribution. So I forgot we were on Devs 2. Whatever, dude. Oops. Please just pay out immediately. Come on. I believe in you. Please. Alright, you suck. Alright, well, take my freebie. But yeah, it's so weird that we draw our line for failure at 60% correct. Because 60% is pretty damn good. In most respects. I don't know. The other thing, I've learned a few things in my life, right? Quite a few. One thing I've learned in my life is that people can't drive. Another thing I've learned in my life is that people can't actually read statistics at all. They're incapable of reading statistics. It's a very bizarre thing. Because statistics aren't an actual very complex thing. But people still somehow fuck it up constantly. don't get it. I should have re-rolled Old Bandage, actually. Whoops. Oh well. Yeah, people can't read statistics, which is where, like, so many myths, specifically economical myths. I shouldn't take this, actually, should I? A lot of economical myths get perpetuated by the inability to read statistics quite frequently. And I would say an example, but I know people are going to be upset that I'm using it again. But, like, there's a lot of myths about number-based things that are just because people don't know how to read statistics, and they take, you know, like, BuzzFeed titles as gospel, right? It's like, the study finds that playing the stock market always gets you money, even if all your stocks tank, or blah, blah, stuff like that, right? And I know I'm just coming up with it off the top of my head, but there's similarly fucking stupid shit in online news outlets based on an inability to read statistics. And it's not the original person not being able to read statistics. They can do it just fine. The problem stems from the fact that the people who can read the statistics want to dress them up a certain way so they can further whatever agenda they're attempting to push, and then the blind readers will, instead of looking at the actual study, which is truthful and you can actually learn a lot from, they just take the word of this person as fact and don't read into the study at all and find out that it was done poorly and had selection bias or something like that, right? Because you can make any study say what you want it to say. That's the fanciest thing about statistics, is that if you want a set of data to say something specific, you can do it. It just takes finagling. And that causes a lot of issues with a lot of the I guess, lower IQ population. I hate saying, I hate using IQ as a metric of intelligence, but I mean, whatever. It's the best we got, I guess. Probably it's the best we got. I haven't ever heard of a different metric being even remotely useful when it comes to intelligence. Because the problem with intelligence is that it's such an all-encompassing sort of thing, right? There's no way I can blow that up, I'm pretty sure. Like, intelligence is such a big concept compared to how we can actually, you know, quantify it. I'm getting hit in the most bullshit ways. Like, IQ is literally just a number, and we're using just a fucking number to quantify intelligence, which is pretty much the dumbest thing you can imagine, but there's really not a better way. Currently, at least. Maybe someday, we'll just have a machine that assigns people numbers. Not IQ numbers, but similar to IQ, except that instead of taking a test, it reads your brainwaves and... What the fuck? Why did it go so far? Oh my god, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I'm just fucked. Why are these bullets doing this shit to me, man? Like, they went from... Oh god, they went all the way across the room for no reason. I don't get it. Alright, well, we do have 9 lives and Judas' Shadow, and we're guppies, so we have a chance. It's not a great one, but it's a chance. And hey, look, we got Bob's brain. Nope. Nope. I am very interested to see what comes of technology in the future, though. Because currently, a lot of people just kind of accept technology things as, you know, as like an undeniable truth, I guess, to some extent. Like, I knew it was gonna fucking kill me! Fuck this stupid motherfucking boss with his goddamn bullshit. Random instant hit damage effects are not a fair thing. And they really shouldn't be in this game. But oh well. What was I saying? Right, like people will, a lot of people, specifically older people, will be like, I don't care how it works, I just want it to work. Right? And it's funny, because I'm saying that as if that's a bad thing, but in reality, that might actually be a better thing. My grandma, on my mom's side, she is... Alright, this will sound awful, but she was like pretty technologically retarded, right? And that's not a bad thing. Plenty of people are. But it's so funny because instead of her being like most people who are like, you know, just make my computer work, I don't care, she's the opposite. She asks infinite questions about how it works, right? Like, how does the computer know that this happens? Why does this do this? And it's great, you think. It's like, oh, she's trying to learn about it, and whatever. You think it's great. And then you actually try helping her set up fucking email, and it's like, oh no. It's like, okay, how do I get to my email? Well, you go to the web browser, and then you go to the email. Let's just say for simplicity's sake that let's say she uses Yahoo. So you go to Yahoo, right? You go to mail.yahoo.com, and she's like, "How did you do that?" Well, I typed it in the address bar. Yeah, but how? Well, I click the address bar and then I type it in. But why? 'Cause that's how it works. Okay, but how do I do that again? Grandma? We need to talk. You know, like stuff like that. And it is very frustrating to deal with that, right? Because there are certain things when dealing with technology, you know, fuck it, let's end this one strong. There are certain things with technology that you just have to accept it. You do. At least I think. I think it's at least easier that way. Obviously, if you want to know everything about, you know, certain pieces of technology, like, yeah, you could investigate and you could learn it, and that's cool. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I fucking hate you, Isaac, or Blue Baby, you fucking sack of shit. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's much easier to just be like, okay, the address bar works in this way, because it does. Fuck, I dodged right into that. Instead of being like, this collection of ones and zeros displays this, and then you do this, which gives the system more ones and zeros to parse, and then that turns into this. You know, it's much easier to just be like, I just put the thing in the address bar, and it brings me there. Like, you could boil it all down to ones and zeros, because that's how computers work, but there's no reason to, right? Just like when you're playing a video game, I don't care, generally, how the specific way my controls work, right? I don't care about the friction coefficient and all this shit that's involved in making the movement feel good. I just want it to feel good and know which buttons do what, right? Like, there's a line that you draw, and it depends on the person, but I don't remember how this conversation started. I definitely wanted to conclude it in a way, but now I don't remember what my initial conclusion was going to be, so I apologize for that. I'm scatterbrained. And thanks for watching, though, because the run's over. Hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already so you can see more Isaac in the future. And hopefully you guys enjoyed my Grand Tournament pack opening yesterday. It was fun, aside from the fact that I got shit. But you know what? It was fun anyway, and I had a good time. So I hope you did too, and I will see you guys in the next video.